Take one.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Elevated Podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you guys visually this time since I've never done this visually. I'm here with my friend Maria Zavala. Welcome to Elevated Community.
Hi guys, thank you.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. More than anything, I'm really excited to start this campaign. Health is the new black, and as you know, turtle season next. Shout out to y'all. That's literally all I've been wearing winter time. So shout out to y'all. Maria, please just introduce yourself. Let people know what you do, where you're from, what you like to do. I don't know. Go ahead and
just do it out here. Well, my name is Maria, like Juan just said. I have grown up here in Vegas. I was born in Mexico. I currently serve God in my youth ministry with my church, and I've also served in the worship team at my church. I have a passion to serve people and a passion to worship God. I don't know what else to say.
Alright, well that was enough. Now, okay. So, Maria, I have a question for you. If you could eat one thing, just you had to eat this thing for the rest of your life. Like, it doesn't matter if you eat a hamburger, you have to eat this with it. It doesn't matter if you eat pizza. One thing, what would you eat for the rest of your life?
Like
as a side.
As a side thing?
Not a side, but you have to include that ingredient or that food. What would it be?
It's hard for me because there's two things. But I guess the main one would be salt.
Everyone, her boyfriend's over here, guys. Everyone, come say hi to the people.
To the people?
To the people. To the kings.
To we the people?
Hi, people.
Alright. He's out. Alright, salt and what else?
Lemon.
And lemon. She's Mexican, guys. She's Mexican. Today we're going to be talking about anxiety, guys. And I just really want to start off with a quote. And this quote reads like this. Anxiety is love's greatest killer. It makes you feel as you might when you're seeing a man drown and he holds you down. You want to save him, but you know he will strangle you with his panic. And that was by Anis Nin. I love that quote because there's so many things. I've heard this recently. We operate in a state of love or a state of fear. And anxiety causes fear. And so we can't operate in love. And as human beings, the healthiest way, and as children of God, the healthiest way to live out is loving people. And so, what do you think about that?
I agree with you. When you're living in a state of fear and constant worry, it's so hard for you to focus on actually expressing love or even receiving love.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to allow for love to come in and for you to be able to give it to others when your main focus is on the fear that you have or the worry that's on your mind or these multiple of just thoughts in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, without further ado, let's get this message started. Welcome, Maria, again to Elevated Community.
Thank you for having me.
You're part of the community now, right?
I've been part of the community.
There we go.
Well, not your guys', but
Man, your guys is what?
I didn't know what to say.
Season 2 EP, what is this, like 5 or 6? It is 6. No, it is 5, but it's 6.
Cut out that part. Are you
Yeah.
editing this stuff before you?
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's straightforward. I think that looks good. So.
Are you editing us?
Huh?
Are you editing us?
No, this is live. Like, this is gonna be like unedited, raw for y'all, you know what I'm saying? This is a conversation we're having. And so what we're gonna do now is define what anxiety is. So I first wanted to start by defining what anxiety is. And I did my research, I did my homework, and so this was the definition Google gave me. Because Google is,
Google.
yes, Google is man's best friend. So it's an intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. You can feel fast heart rate, rapid breathing, sweating, and feeling tired. That may occur. So would you say that that's anxiety to you, or what would you define as what is anxiety in a general sense?
Yeah, I mean that is the definition of anxiety. I feel like different people may experience it. Experience different parts of that.
Right.
Not everyone is gonna feel like constant like fatigue, or not everybody is gonna be sweating like all the time. Like for me, it's really hard to sweat, like, even when I go to the gym. Oh.
So as you guys see, this is live, guys.
Thank you.
And so, what do you think is one of the greatest challenges that you kind of felt understanding? Do I have anxiety?
Well, to begin with, I never really understood. I never knew what anxiety was, and I didn't.
I know. So guys, I really like moving and start coming. That's fine. So let's have a conversation while. So Maria, let's play this trivia game. Where would you go if magically there was a ticket in your doorstep and it says one way or two way wherever you want to go?
Two way? I would go and then I would come back.
What? Is it Mexico?
Where would I go? Greece.
Why Greece?
I don't know. It's just so beautiful there. Like, I want to go there. I've never been there, but I want to go there.
Okay. So, Maria, if you could be a fruit, what kind of fruit would you eat?
Man, that's hard. What kind of fruit would I be?
What kind of fruit does your boyfriend look like?
He doesn't look like a fruit.
Really?
Maybe a banana, because he's like tall and long.
A banana? I feel like
And he hates bananas.
a kiwi. A kiwi would be a good fruit for you. You look like an apple.
What?
Not like you don't look like an apple, but like
I look like I would like apples?
no, like you just look like you would be an apple if you were a fruit.
Yes. I don't know. I think I'm more of a berry person, so I would definitely be one of the berries.
Like a raspberry. I don't know what this is. Guys, I'm eating healthy, just so you guys know. My 28-day challenge is, honest to God, I've ate out like 5 times already, but shout out to God, because He has blessed me with amazing food. It's just so hard to eat healthy, guys, so anyways. So yeah, let's define anxiety. Alright guys, so I wanted to start off by defining what anxiety is. And so I looked in Google. Google is man's best friend. Shout out to God for like making Google and technology. Hey, okay, weird question, right? If God came, like if Elijah was still alive today, and God took him in that chariot, in that fire chariot, would it be a Ferrari or would it still be a chariot? Because Ferraris weren't invented back then.
I think it'd be a chariot. I don't think God's
No, but like when you think about it, chariots were like the automobiles of then.
Yeah.
Like there were no Ferraris back then,
It'd be an Aston Martin.
Like, right? Do you think like do you ever think of stuff like that?
Aston Martins are classy. Or Rolls Royce.
Like, do you think God would have picked my boy up in a anyways?
Rolls Royce.
Like, for real, that's an honest question, like, I don't know. Because God is like modern, like, I don't know. Anyways. So, so anxiety is defined as an intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. You may feel fast heart rate, rapid breathing, sweating, and feeling tired also may occur. So, Maria, my question to you is, what is anxiety in a general sense to you?
In a general sense, well, I mean, you can experience it, experience anxiety and, all of that. Not everybody, though, is, going to be tired all the time.
Yeah.
And not everybody is going to be, sweating. Yeah. So, just in general, anxiety is just being like in a constant like state of alert, like constantly just, you know, looking out for like what's next, like worried about what's next, I think.
Now, before I move forward, I wanted to ask you, when was it that you realized, like, my God, I may have anxiety, I may be dealing with this? And how long did that go for? Like, how did that process look for you?
For me, well, I didn't realize it then. I realized it later on, but now I can tell when, you know, my anxiety began. Well, my anxiety came from when my dad passed away.
Okay.
When he passed away, that's when I started to get really anxious. I remember going to school and I feeling scared that something next was gonna happen, like something was gonna happen to my family.
So it was like a trigger.
Yes, and it was just kind of like on the spot, like thing. Like I would be fine, you know, throughout my day,
right.
and all of a sudden, like I would get this like pain, like in my, like not in my chest, but it was like my heart, like yeah, like my heart hurt. It's weird to say, but my heart hurt, and I would start getting like really nervous and like just really worried, like. And I would go to my counselor, like run to my counselor and say like I have to call my mom, like something is wrong, I have to call my mom and I have to like.
So it's kind of like a panic.
Yes, it's kind of like a panic, kind of in a sense. But I was anxious to know where they were at because I was scared. I was scared that something would happen to them too.
Right.
So that was when it started. I didn't know at that time that that's, you know, what I was going through, because I had never been exposed to anxiety. You know, I was 12 years old. You know. Right. So
that was the starting point of your anxiety.
Not 12, sorry, I was 14 years old. But yeah, that was the beginning of it. And then just along my life, like I had bumped into, you know, I had experienced it. There was a point where I experienced it to more in depth. Like
certain situations.
Yes.
Kind of brought it out. Okay.
Yes, and the situation where I actually like kind of like picked it up was when I moved out from my house when I was like 19 years old, and I had just been like staying at like, you know, my friends' houses and stuff, and not friends' houses. I wasn't like house hopping.
Yeah.
But there was a situation where I was at one certain specific house, and I had moved there, and I remember just taking a break from God. It sounds horrible, but I chose to take a break. I chose to say, like, I'm gonna focus on me.
Right.
And I put God on hold. And I remember I started going out again with you know, the people that I was living with. I was going out with them because, you know, they would party and stuff. So right. I remember going out and finding myself at those places where we were at and just getting anxious because I knew that I didn't belong there. Right. You know, I was scared of what I was doing in my walk with God. Like I was scared of, you know, like pushing him aside, and it just kind of led to me feeling really, really weird. I was talking to my youth about anxiety yesterday, actually. Right. We were actually talking about you know, health, your emotional health, and your, you know. So we've been talking about that for a couple weeks, and I was telling them I remember just feeling like a cloud in my head. Like I didn't know what was going on, and it was a period of time. It was a period of like a month, I think, where I was in the state of like I wasn't able to work, guys. Like I wasn't going to work because I didn't know what was wrong with me. Yeah. Like that's when I acknowledged that I had anxiety because it got really bad. Right. It was really bad to the point where I couldn't go to work because I was scared that I was going to crash on my way there or something, or that something was going to happen.
You're just being paranoid in a sense.
Yeah, but I was worried because I was feeling a certain way. You know, my relationship with my mom wasn't, you know, okay, and my relationship with God wasn't okay. And I didn't really have friends around me, I guess, to say like, oh, like I could go to this person, you know. And so it just really became overwhelming feeling of worry, like what's my life going to be for the rest of my life? Am I never going to have a home? Right. Because, you know, I had moved out, and it was just, I think at that point is when I found out. I went to the doctor, and the doctor didn't know what was wrong with me. Like the doctor said I was perfectly healthy and fine. Right. Physically. Yeah. And she said if anything I had like vertigo, which it was not the case at all. I hadn't gone out anywhere to have vertigo. But I realized at that moment that there was something that was beyond my control,
Right.
and that I had to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Evan, you think you go pay for my parking ticket? I just remember I didn't pay for it. I just need
I have
someone
a dollar.
right? No, it's cool. I think you pay with money. I got a parking ticket. Imagine. Guys, I got a ticket. You guys gotta pay. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe.
Go fund me for one's ticket.
Yes. All right. So guys, we're just waiting on Edwin. We'll go ahead and bag jump on. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Guys, like, I have messed up today, honestly. But most times I make these episodes, I at least do the intro like 20, like not 20 times, probably like 10 times though. So
Your intro?
yeah, I mean any part, like I just go back and I'm like, oh my god. She hasn't messed up, which I'm really proud of. Like most people like get stuck, you know, like I forgot what I'm gonna say. Alright, that's it.
I'm a pro at this.
Guys,
I've been doing this on my phone.
most definitely, guys. I don't know what these seeds are right here,
They're disgusting.
but they're disgusting, guys. So eating healthy is not working out for your boys. So
Like, if I sit all the way back, you guys probably can't see, but my feet ain't touching the floor.
We can do.
hey, remember have you seen Kevin's Hart special? And he's like, how you want to act like a man and you're at the bar with a stool and you're shout out to Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Dude, Kevin Hart's amazing. Alright, let's see. So, battling through anxiety, I know that that's something that obviously you're talking about already, but no, it's not. It's
You just jinxed to yourself.
I know it is. Restart.
Rewind.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're catching all these.
When you're battling through anxiety, I know that there are certain things that you experience, and I may have never felt anxiety, but I deal with my own issues. But would you say that it's an ongoing thing, anxiety?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. It's not something that just goes away. Like, it's not something that
Like most people think like once you go through this season, like it's gonna be gone forever.
Right. When people think like, oh, if I go get treatment, then I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
it's
oh, I have a
everyday.
flu. Like, oh, I have a flu, and I'm just gonna go get medicine, and
Right.
I'm gonna be okay. Perfect.
It's not the case. You're saying, you don't, maybe you haven't felt the excessive anxiety.
Right,
Because
exactly.
there's a difference between anxiety, which is normal anxiety, which is, like you're scared of talking in public, or you have
you feel
fear.
anxious.
Because you have a test or something like that, or you're starting a new
Right.
job. So there's that normal anxiety
Right.
that kicks in certain everyday events. But there's that excessive anxiety
Right.
to the point where it overtakes your life.
Like it overwhelms you.
It overwhelms you.
Like it just drowns you. Would you say that? Like in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it does.
drowns you.
It does, and it's something that you have to. For me, it's been an everyday thing where an everyday like I've had to deal with it every day.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I just went through it for, like you said, a season of my life, and then I'm A-okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's ongoing.
So, as you experience anxiety or you struggle through it and you're battling through it, there are some symptoms that I researched. And as a body, within your body, you start to feel fatigue, restlessness, sweating, cognitive. You start lacking concentration, racing thoughts, and most times unwanted thoughts. Behavioral, hypervigilance, kind of like being paranoid all the time, kind of like what you were saying. I need to know where my parents are. I need to check if they're okay. And also, it's very common, like excessive worry, fear, feeling of impending doom. Like something is going to happen, something's about to happen. Insomnia, nausea, palpitations, and trembling. Let's see the palpitations. And then I'm gonna go into would you are these obviously these are things that you kind of like resonate with, and so come on, white guys.
It's racist. Racism is true.
You guys were waiting for some white people. DCs are so disgusting. That's like I keep.
Why don't you mix it?
No.
Maybe it'll make it better.
No. What if it doesn't?
What if it does?
What if it doesn't?
I would rather try than never have known.
Then Edwin will be like, "Wow, hon, you didn't even need my side that I bought you and I blessed you with, right, my brother?"
No, I don't care.
Okay.
It's not that important to me.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna make a vlog when this guy goes hooping. I'm gonna go hoop, and it's gonna be lit. Not anything, I don't know how much that, but
Hello?
how about a GoPro?
Hello?
GoPro? He has a GoPro.
Oh, yeah.
That's for two Eagles.
He just never used it. He wanted out one of the NG702 events
Oh,
and he never
really?
It wasn't at NG702.
Hey,
Was it?
hey,
What was it?
which year?
The thing at church,
Which
the
season?
international thing.
Which season?
Oh, yeah, that's true. It was at his church. Just kidding. Not NG702. Sorry,
Okay.
no credit to NG702 for that.
Sorry, guys. But if you, next event, please
Okay, perfect.
give us a PS4.
Are you guys gonna be there?
We're gonna be there first, square. What's our head of the program? 12?
12:30.
3?
12:30.
Oh, totally. Okay. Alright, let's just finish this up. We're almost done. Yeah.
Oh, I have time.
So obviously these are some symptoms that you resonate with. Going through anxiety, what do you think there's like the pillar of your struggles was? Something that was always there. When you woke up, when you know, like you woke up, that thought was there, or whatever it may be. What was like? Give us 3 prime things that you struggled with as far as symptoms that were always constantly there.
I believe you mentioned nausea.
Mm-hmm.
So nausea was one of the things that were, well, first of all, it's always been my thoughts. It's always been thoughts. You know, us girls were really great at, you know, just making all these stories in our heads.
Right.
So it's something that I really struggled with is, you know, like just not making up things, but assuming.
Right.
And just, you know,
Going through
overthinking
situations
things, yes,
yeah.
over and over and over again in my head. And that's from the moment that I wake up. Then, you know, comes when I, you know, throughout my day, like say something else, like triggers my anxiety even more. Then I do get nauseous, and I have gotten to the point of throwing up. There was actually a season in my life where.
But you weren't pregnant.
No,
On the record.
I'm not
I'm
pregnant.
kidding.
But there was a moment in my life where anxiety was just really great within me. That it did lead me towards, like, it was like a weekly, maybe bi-weekly thing where I just felt really nauseous sometimes, and I would throw up. And it's not that I wanted to, I didn't want to, because throwing up is bad.
So I know that you mentioned, you know, great. Would you say that anxiety has a power over you in a sense that you are the puppet and that's the master? Like you just literally, you know, within relationships, work life, school life, personal life, would you say that you were just going through the motions, that you weren't even thinking of what you were doing? It was just kind of like on autopilot, would you say?
Yeah, at some point in my life, I'm telling you, in this season of my life where I was at, it was just like I would wake up and I wouldn't even try, like I wouldn't even, you know, it was just something that was just there, like it was just there, and it does overpower you, but I've come to realize that it overpowers you when you allow it to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioning that, I was gonna also add, what is that thing that kind of like broke that mold and allowed you to step out of anxiety and start overpowering it or overcoming it?
What allowed me, what brought me to realize it? I don't think I can remember or recall an exact moment in my life, but I came to the realization it was just because it was a constant thing. Like
Right.
it had been going on for like weeks, and I had already before when my anxiety started before I didn't know Christ, but
Right.
coming into Christ and experiencing this in my walk with God is what, and it's weird because it wasn't like, oh, I've had it like constantly in my life, like
Right.
just recently, maybe like 2 years ago. It's not recent, but I mean,
Yeah.
but it kind of is when I actually started to like really allow it to overcome, and I realized like I shouldn't be letting this thing take over my life because it was ruining my friendships, it was ruining my relationships, with my family and
Right.
with my friends, and it just in general. So I realized that I couldn't allow for this anxiety to be in control anymore, because I was going nowhere with my life, and I was just feeling miserable all the time.
So I want to finish off with this. There's obviously treatments to anxiety. There's obviously self-care, such as physical exercise, stress management, therapies, meditations, obviously medications, specialists, clinical psychologists. But what are some things? And I want to finish off with this because I want to give people practical things that they can do in their daily life to overcome their anxiety. And if you're battling with that, what are some things that you do or that you implement in your life daily so that you can be maybe, quote unquote, one step ahead of anxiety? Correct.
Well, the first thing, guys, is just acknowledging that you are experiencing anxiety. I know maybe as Christians, sometimes it can be like we can feel shameful because we're Christians, right? We shouldn't be experiencing anxiety or fear. We shouldn't have worry of the day of tomorrow, right? But it happens. It does happen. It's a reality, and you shouldn't feel ashamed to acknowledge the fact that you're going through anxiety. Like, in order for there to be a process of healing in that, you have to first acknowledge it. So you have to acknowledge the things that are making you anxious.
So number one, you're understanding that you are being anxious about a certain situation, and just acknowledging that you have that issue. Right, and what's something else that I know you have some notes here.
I do.
Go ahead and just absolutely just finish off with this. I don't know whatever this is.
It's just when after acknowledging it, you have to. The Bible tells us, and let me. I'm gonna bring out my Bible.
Absolutely.
App.
And while you're doing that, I want to allow people to understand that there's people going through anxiety, that you're not alone. Struggling through it. And one thing that I notice when I'm battling through something, I like to isolate myself. I like to be alone. But I think that what God wants us to do, and a healthier way of living, is surrounding yourself with people that will not bring you down and make you feel, like bad about yourself. But you should allow people to be in your inner circle to uplift you. And I think that that's so important, especially within, we're young adults, and most of us aren't married, or maybe some of us are teenagers, adolescents. But just understand that you are not alone, and build yourself a team, your inner circle, so that they can be with you and go through that season with you as well. So did you find that Bible verse, Maria?
I did. So this verse really has stuck with me for a while. I'm not the type that just memorizes verses and I just pull them out of. I'm not. But anyways, this verse really.
Pull them out of the hat. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say pull it out of my sleeve. This verse says, "When doubts filled my mind, your comfort gave me renewed hope and cheer." In so many, there's other versions that I like. I don't remember what version it's in, but it says, "When anxiety was great within me, you brought me hope, brought me comfort." And
that's good.
In that verse, this man is actually acknowledging first that he has anxiety, and secondly, he's acknowledging that the one who can bring him the hope and the peace that he needs is God. And for me guys, God has been my treatment. You know, my relationship with Him has been my treatment. Aside from other treatments that you've mentioned. You know, like exercising and I don't know, get a hobby, like something that's gonna help you. Distract your mind from these racing thoughts.
Absolutely.
Friends, friends are so important, and it's so important for us to find the right friends, because there's gonna be people that are just gonna come and go in your life and really don't care to stay. It's just a momentarily thing, and that's fine, because there's people that are just gonna be that for you in your life. But there's people that are actually gonna surround you and are actually gonna lead you to a healthier lifestyle and are gonna lead you to Christ. And people that are gonna actually be there for you and actually truly care about you. So be careful who your choose wisely who your inner circle is gonna be. You need to make sure that these people are making you better and not worse.
She's Mexican, so maybe you've heard this before. Dime con quién andas.
¿Y te diré quién eres?
It's something like that.
Yeah.
So shout out to that. But yeah, thank you so much, Maria. Thank you for being in my channel, Elevated Community. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Health awareness is something that I'm very big on, because I think that our spirituality, our mentality, our emotions, our physicality is something that God wants to be whole. And so I just hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Maria, thank you so much for joining me. Any last things that you want to say to my viewers?
Just on this topic.
So on this topic.
Just on this topic, just really, just bring your burdens to God, guys. Bring it before God, and trust Him. I know it's hard when you're going through this anxiety. Some of us have hard time trusting that there's someone out there that actually cares. But if there is someone that I can actually say that it will always want to bless you and give you hope and better you, is going to be God. God is always going to be there for you. He will never leave you nor forsake you, and that's one of His promises. And just hold on to His promises, guys. Understand that you're not alone. That you don't need to deal with these type of issues on your own. Like you shouldn't have to. And just really bring your burdens to God every day. Every day, it's an ongoing thing. This verse doesn't, God doesn't promise us that all of our worries or anxiety or fears are going to go away. No, there's a reason why sometimes they're still there, and a lot of the times I believe it's because He wants us to keep coming back to Him. So keep coming back to Him every single day as you're, going through this process of, healing and restoration, and bring your burdens to God and allow for Him to take over, but really allow for Him to take over. Don't just try to manage it on your own. It doesn't work. It just leads you to deeper holes. But yeah, just hold on to God's promises, guys, and surround yourselves with the right people.
Yeah, guys. So, Elevated Community, thank you so much. I love you guys. Tune in next week. We're going to be talking about our physical health. I got a special guest for you guys as well. Maria, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Welcome to the community. Elevated, we out.
Dang, and the sun just went out.
Yeah.
Did you see that?